Welcome guys to a brand new tutorial in the series that we are currently doing, Flutter beginner apps. And today I will be making an app that I have just learned, and it's a simple quiz app where you are just choosing the answers and displaying the lists of the result here also. And yeah, if you have not subscribed my channel, I suggest you do it. And if there are some questions to be answered, then please kindly just send me a text on Instagram. And yeah, there are some people who are like sending me code, and they're just saying, okay, can you please write a code for it? But I will not be able to help those people because I want you to learn by yourself. But if you would tell me that, okay, this is our code and this is what we have tried, like summarize it and explain me in the context, so then I would be able to, help you. Because what is the point of me just giving you a code and then you just copy paste it? So yeah, without a further ado, let's just get right into, creating a new Flutter project. And yeah, we'll just name it quiz quizzy. Make sure this name is in the lowercase because the Flutter projects are case sensitive, so we have to make sure of that. And yeah, so this was the app that we have created. I had created, like I had developed. So I would be like making something similar, and feel free to like play with the design and change it. But like I'm not so good with the design, so I'm like a logic guy, and like usually I work only for the logic. So that's how I build this app, and it is good for practice. So what I'll do is I'll just close this app now that we have seen it already. And what I'll do is I will uh, just maximize this, I guess, and just delete all this code. So we'll just import first of all some packages, because we are using the widgets from Material Design, which is by Google. So we'll just do that. And one more thing that we need is, once we were using that app and you saw that like once we keep on using it, then it runs out of the questions. And what happens is it shows us an alert, right? So what do we have to do for that? Like we can download a package from Flutter, pubs dot I think dev. Yeah, and here we will find the package that helps us to create alerts. Okay, so we'll search our Flutter, and you see the score here. There are other packages too, but we want to use the package that has the more popularity and is also developed by Flutter. So what do we have? What have we got here? Like we'll just use this one, and we'll just go, and this is the example, this kind of alerts that we can create with it. So we'll just installing, and we'll just copy this in our pubs.yml. And this is so make sure that the indentation is 1 and 2, something like this, because this comes under Flutter. Okay, so whatever is coming under Flutter is like SDK Flutter, but this is part of the dependencies, not of the Flutter package. So this is something you have got to research on, like what is pubspec YML file, because it's not a markup. So it's a YML, it's a non-markup language, and therefore the indentation is very much like play in here. So let's say if I like move this here, then our code will not be synchronized. So if you see some error whilst like syncing this file, then there must be that you have made some mistake while with the indentation. So right now I have like carefully pasted it in the right place, so I believe there should be no errors. So yeah, we see 0 here. Okay, now we can close this, and I'll just import that package too, because we will need it at the very end of our project. So we have just done that, and I'll just create a void main method, and this is a new syntax, usually comes from JavaScript, arrow function, but if you wish, then you can just stick to my previous tutorials that where I use the bracket notation, like, you know, to write the function. Okay, so this is like a stateless widget, first of all, because we wanna create a material app, and the theme is theme data.dark, and home is home page. We can just say main page maybe, and main page is going to be a stateful widget because we are going to, you know, like, see the changes, like questions will be changing and all that. So up until here, what we'll do is simply return a scaffold here, and we'll just get an app bar, and app bar would have a title text. We can name this as Quizzy, and center title, oh sorry, center title is a boolean, so it takes boolean, and then we just go in here and body. So body would be a column because it's a horizontal app. Oh sorry, it's a vertical app. Everything is going to be displayed vertically. So yeah, up until here, like, you know, you just build the skeleton, and I would suggest you to run this app. So, you know, whenever you make some changes, you just press Control S to hot reload, or if you work with the state of the app, then you just hot restart, and you are able to see those changes, and you don't have to reload, like, you don't have to install the app again and again. So that is why I just set up the skeleton, and then, like, run it for once, and then later we will be using hot reload and hot restart. So yeah, we'll be seeing something here shortly. I'll pause the video meanwhile. Okay, so we will be seeing our output shortly. Okay, perfect. So this is what we have got, and everything is working as expected, and we will start building it. So we would need like a container that holds our question and our like, and the buttons for true and false, right? And first and foremost, above here, what I'll do is I'll just take a list that is going to be our scorekeeper. So it's an empty list, and it takes in widgets. So we will be adding like icon widgets into it, like if the user chooses wrong, or like correct answer accordingly. So let's just keep that on hold and like proceed with the design first. So we'll just take an expanded widget because it spreads the widget onto the screen, and take another container, and we'll give a margin edge insets all sides 15, and padding same, all sides 15, and the color, you can just write colors, and it's up to you the color that you want. I'll just go with blue gray, and it has another column. So this column is going to take another expanded widget, and flex is going to assign the space. Okay, I think I just messed up a little bit here. And just go in here. Okay, a little bit stuff, I guess. Is it okay now? Okay, maybe, yeah. So the child is center, and this takes in a text widget. So here we'll just write a question, and we can style it maybe a little bit. Style, text style. It's not text style, it's text style. Font size 25. Okay, if I just press Ctrl S, okay, there must be an error here somewhere. Okay, yeah, let's press Ctrl S, and okay, so see, like we see one expanded widget that is spread, and it's a column, so everything is going to be stacked on top of it, like, yeah, in a vertical order. So this is what we have got for now, and let's keep on building it. So we'll take another expanded widget, and I already have it, so maybe I'll just build it for you. It's not big. So another expanded widget, and this takes in a child as a flat button. Flat button requires a non-pressed method which is mandatory, and child is like true, and we can style this also. Style, text style. I'll just get rid of this page. Yeah. Okay. So font, the color of this is going to be colors.white, and if you want to give it a size, you can give it 20.0. Okay, and what this does is like it chooses the answer for us, and on top of that the color of this button is going to be green, because we want to show that it's like a true button. So this is what we have right now, but it's showing like it's not being expanded, so we'll deal with that a little later. Okay, let's keep on working on that, and why is that, we would need another expanded widget that takes in false, and obviously this is white, and the background is red. So now if we press Ctrl S, and this is what we have got, and now we want to give some space between these, so we'll just use a hack here. It's a vertical thing, so we'll just give it a space of 15.0. So yeah, we have some beautiful space in here. Okay, well, for some weird reason, yeah, so the reason it's not being spread is that on the cross axis of this column we can do cross axis alignment stretch, so we should be, yeah, so this is beautiful, right? So this is like evenly spread, and now below this is our layout is ready almost. Below this we will create a row. We'll just give it another size box because we want, and again height could be like 15 maybe, and here we'll just return a row, and row row or column, they return a list. So we have already taken a list above, and therefore we'll just bring it down in here. So this is the list, right? So therefore we don't need any kind of brackets here. Okay, so if I refresh it now, so now we see that there is a little bit of a space for our scoring like to be shown here. So this is the, like, what do you call, this is the how should I say this, this is the layout. Yeah, okay. Now what have we got? Like we are, like, you know, successfully able to show this, and now here we can display our question and play around. So we'll just create another model class where we can say question class, and what I'll do is I'll just, this is the question class where we are creating a constructor and we are going to add the values into it dynamically, right? This is pretty simple. If you have been programming for 2-3 months, I think you should know this by now. We have string and we have a boolean which is true or false. So string is like obviously the question text, and I'll create another Dart file and name it as question brain. So this is where all of our logic will be implemented. So now what is question brain is going to do for us? We don't have one question, we can have many questions as we like, right? So we need a list that returns questions, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use our question model and paste it in here. So if I just to demonstrate this question, now this is going to give me an error because two positional argument expected. So what were those positional arguments? They were question text and question answer. So therefore we have to put a value here which is string, and second is true or false, right? Now it goes away. So this is like we are making a new question every time instead of like creating 10 widgets here, instead of creating 10 widgets of text here and like writing again and again, we are just going to do it programmatically, right? And here we'll just take an integer which is going to be underscore represents the question, the private property that, okay, this is only accessible, these properties are only accessible within this class. So outside, maybe I cannot change the question number from main or question class. I can only change it within being this file, right? Now we have got the questions. First we'll create a method for getting question text. So obviously we know that is a string, and we'll just say get question text and return a string, obviously. So question bank, and if I press like a bracket notation here, whatever the question number that is coming into the list, because the list, you have to study a little bit about the list. So list have indices, okay? I'll just leave a note here who will copy paste the code from the GitHub. List have indices or an index. It defines the position of the item in the list. It starts with 0 to etc, right? Like it goes on and on. Okay, so what are we doing here? Yeah, so that is why whatever the number That is, question bank will find that question for us on that question number. Okay, so what do we need? We need a question text. So this returns a string for us. Another, what do we need? Get correct answer. So here we are going to return a boolean, return question bank, whatever the question number, return the answer for it, please. Okay, whatever the question number, return the answer for it. Once again, I'll tell you, here we pass the question number. In that question bank, it checks, okay, what is the question number and what is the answer for it, because each question has an answer of its own. So yeah, this is what is happening. Quite simple. Okay, let's say the test is finished. Okay, let's work for some, like, how to go to next question. Next question is string, no, not string, void method, because it does not have a return value. Get next question. So now here is like, if question number is less than is less than question bank length -1. Now here is a little bit of a catch, because it starts from the list counts from 0 to forward, okay, 0 onwards. So therefore we cannot just write it like this. If we write it like this, there will be an error, because it is minusing from the 0, right? So we need to equalize it by adding -1. So now it starts from 0 and it stops right where it reaches the limit of the list. Once again, I'm telling you, the list starts from 0, okay? The list counts from 0, okay? So if it's like this, that means like we will end up with a negative value, and like our quiz won't end. So we need -1 to account for that 0 that list by default starts from. If this matches, the question number should be incremented. That means like once the question number is updated, it is sent here and it shows the text of our next question. Pretty simple. Once the question number is incremented, it goes in here and shows the answer or the text of our next question. Okay. The last two methods are going to be void. So this is like reset. So once the quiz has finished, we want the question number to be 0. And lastly, once the quiz is finished, we'll just create a boolean method. So how do we know the quiz is finished? If question number is greater or equal to question bank dot length -1. So if question number has reached the length of the list already, return true, else return false. And for your reference, if you want to write, I'll just type here, quiz has run out of questions. So this is just for your reference. And we will use this method too. This returns boolean because this is true or false. And okay, this resets everything back to 0. Okay. Now last part, we'll just create an instance of this on the very top, question brain. We'll just name it brain, new question brain. Okay, now we have the access to all these methods that we have created here by just writing this. Okay, so first of all, I'll just go here and replace this, the brain get question text. Okay, this is going to because this method returns a string, right? This returns a string because this is string here. So simply, and this text widget always expects a string value. So this is coming from there because it returns a string. Pretty simple. Now what have we got? What we will do is we'll create a method and say check answer. And we are going to pass a boolean argument in here, user picked answer, and you will see how this comes into play later. So now what we want to do is we want to first get the correct answer, brain get correct answer, getting the correct answer. If you're wondering where did this come from, we had just created this method in here. So this returns true or false. So this is why we have this. Okay. And now what we'll do is we'll set the state, because unless you don't set the state, then you have to, like, you want to see the change in real time, right? You don't have to like keep on pressing the run button again and again. So we want to see the change right away. That is why we have to set the state of the app, and this is we are doing in stateful widget, mind you. Please remember that. Because if you are creating an app and you want to see the changes right away, you have to use stateful widget. Okay, if brain is finished, this is quite the funny. Okay, so this method I'm not seeing, but I need to go back. Okay, so there is a problem. I need to get this method out of here, and also this method. Okay, so let's go in here. So if boolean is finished true, means the quiz has finished. What we want to display is if the quiz has finished, the alert that we had imported from this package, passing the context is this page, title is finished, you have reached the end of the quiz, and we are showing that alert. And what is this? Brain is being reset, the questions are being reset, the reset method, question number is set to 0 again, to be precise, because we have created this method here that resets everything back to 0. And scorekeeper, because we are adding widgets into it, like when we do something 1 2 3 4 5 6, like here it gets added, right, the score. So if the quiz has finished, we don't want the old score to be in there, right? We are not saving it, so therefore we have to clear that list. Okay, you can do this scorekeeper, either this, or you can use the above native method, but I like this method, so I'll just stick with this. Okay, so if the quiz has not finished, okay, what do we need then? Just push it a little bit down. Else, that means quiz is still going on. So if quiz is still going on, user picked answer, if user picked answer is correct answer from the list, and how do we know that? The correct answer is coming from here. and the correct answer is coming from here and then from there in the brain, where it takes in a question number to display the answer of that question. Okay, so if the user has picked correct answer, then what should happen? Scorekeeper add, we are adding native method of list to add something. We are adding a widget. We are adding an icon widget, icons, and check mark, color, colored screen, size you can say 25.0. Okay. If the user has picked the right answer, right? Else, if the user has not picked the right answer, again we are going to add close. That's an icon for wrong or incorrect, and red, and simply what we're gonna do is brain get next question. So whether the user has chosen right question or correct answer, just go to next. And the last thing we need is this method. I told you, you will see how this comes into play. Check answer. So how does that happen? So once we click on true, check answer takes in user picked answer is expecting a boolean true, and similarly on pressed, user picked answer in the false button is expecting another boolean value which is false. So if I just hit Ctrl S, and now we start to see our questions. So I press true, so that was wrong. Mount Everest is in Nepal, true. We are seeing this here. K2 is in China, true, but that was wrong. K2 is in Pakistan. Yosemite Park is in USA. 2 plus 2 is 5, false. We got this correct. Alexander the Great was an American soldier, false. Napoleon was an England cricketer. In Japanese culture, tipping is bad, true. We are living in a simulation, false. So yeah, this is some weird shit I made, like this question, but you get the point what I tried to do here. This is a shit quiz. Yeah, we agree. Okay, finished. Quiz has run out of questions and you have reached the. We click cancel. We are again to first question. So this was the video, guys. Let me know in the comments what have you thought and what have you learned and how have you changed the design. Feel free to share your designs on GitHub and give me the link. I'll put it in my Insta story or something. And make sure that you subscribe, and if you have any questions, do let me know, and the code for this project is definitely going to be in the description. So I'll see you in the next one.